All right, back on Radio Row Tuesday morning. A little bit of a slower pace today. We've just been down to Parasols, picked us up some po' boys, had a proper lunch. And now we're talking to the man who is the maven of all things football food, but also the great colour analyst for Westwood One, former NFL lineman, and the host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Check him out on socials at Ross Tucker NFL. There you go. I got it in proper, just like I was told to, Ross.
All right, so I got multiple questions already. First of all, that's really cool that you have a big, so you have text messages coming through on your computer.
Yeah, I had to because I have the eyesight of an 80-year-old man.
I love that. Secondly, you said Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Now the UK is 6 hours ahead, right?
Right.
Okay. So it's Tuesday at 1:15 p.m. Central.
So it's not even morning here anymore.
So are we talking to people on the West Coast of the United States? Is this an Australia show? What are we doing right now?
Look, Ross, this is going to go out at whatever time it goes out, and people are just going to see it. They don't care what time of day it is. I don't even know why I threw that into the intro. Of course, you're calling me out on it immediately, so I appreciate that.
You have an incredible beard.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
very jealous of your beard.
I was telling the guys last night that you approached me at a urinal and told me I was always very well dressed.
Yeah, well, you were last night. Today, not as much. Today, you look more disheveled.
That's absolutely brutal.
So I would say with that like maroon sport coat, you really looked sharp and put together last night.
talkSPORT, biggest sports radio station in the UK. Big NFL coverage now. Getting into the US website as well. Like getting bigger and bigger. We were obviously here on the ground floor.
Okay, but people talk about the NFL on Sports Talk Radio?
Yeah, absolutely. We do live games every week. We have you on quite a lot because there's me sat in a studio on a Sunday night or a Monday night, and I'm throwing to, you did. What was the sideline game you did last week?
NFC Championship.
Yeah, so it's like I'm throwing to coverage of the NFC Championship game.
I love it.
And it's with Ross Tucker on the sideline, and then we get to hear you giving
Dude,
your
it's
thoughts.
going to be fun to do the Super Bowl together next year.
I
All right,
can't
what question? Let me prove myself. Ask me anything.
All right. The question we're kind of asking all the analysts who are coming in the whole of this week. This is a matchup that's going to be picked apart, talked over the whole week. So what's the one thing that you're really excited about on Sunday? The one matchup, the one coaching performance, the one player you want to see? What's that one thing that gets you buzzing?
Okay, so that is easy for me. And the answer is right guard Trey Smith for the Kansas City Chiefs against defensive tackle Jalen Carter for the Philadelphia Eagles. So because Joe Thuney, a left guard by trade, is playing left tackle, they've had to slide the line to the left more. For people that aren't as familiar, they're basically having three guys for two. The center, left guard, left tackle can block those two guys with an eye on a linebacker. That's going to make for a lot of one-on-ones for Trey Smith and Jalen Carter. These guys are two of my favorite players in the NFL because they're playing for keeps.
I mean, Trey Smith is going to get paid this
highest
summer.
paid offensive guard in NFL history. Yeah, he will be in a month and a half. I think it'll be the Titans, maybe the Bears. But he's going to have this guy. I'm a huge believer in having an enforcer. I don't know if soccer has like an equivalent. I know hockey does, but
soccer you have like a holding midfielder.
You need to have a bully. You need to have a guy that the guys on their team are like afraid of a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're looking around for him. Here's the thing. For the Eagles, Jalen Carter is a bad boy. Like, have you seen some of the hit? Like, who was that last week? Biotish, he smoked him in the face. Like, it's why Jalen Carter is so good. He's got that nasty dog in him, right? But Trey Smith doesn't back down from anybody. So what I want people to do is during the game, watch number 65, Kansas City in white, right guard against 98 in green. Jalen Carter, who's a maybe second-team All-Pro, incredible matchup. They should go one-on-one a lot in the game, and it should be fantastic.
Love that. That is a great matchup.
Yeah, that's that's the game within the game, which I think makes football so unique. I could have a camera on that the whole game, and I could watch that, and I could enjoy that. That's actually the next step. The next step will be different cameras, and you can go ahead with the different cameras, and you can pick, I just want to watch this player against that player, every play.
I mean, you're not far off with the stuff that Prime are doing, right, where you can watch live all 22 and they're giving you the player names and they're showing you where the blitz is going to come from and they're actually doing all that stuff live. Like, I don't think we're far off it at all. I just wonder what does it mean for Mahomes if Carter can beat Trey Smith? Because he's been sacked more times this year than any other year in his career. His time to throw has to be quick because of it. It means his yards through the air have to be shorter because of it. And it just, I'm fascinated. They have to truncate everything that Chiefs offense does again. That's probably how the Eagles would win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Eagles, to win the game, I think they need to run the crap out of the ball. I don't think the Chiefs' run defense has been as great in recent weeks, and that's both Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Keep the ball away from Mahomes, and let's be honest, man, they got to have like a 2-score lead late. If it's a 1-score game, that's the thing. Is there a soccer equivalent to how important the quarterback is in the NFL?
No.
There really isn't, right?
I don't think there's an equivalent in any other sport. I think it's the most important single position in all of like team sports.
Is it more important than the best player on an NBA team?
Yeah, but you're not talking about a single position then. You're talking about, that could be anyone. It can be your point guard. It can be your small forward if you've got LeBron. Right. It can be that can be any range of players. The quarterback, for what they have to do,
I think
how much of the game they have to control, how smart they have to be. I think there's nothing that's more onus on a single individual in one sport.
I think for hockey, the goalkeeper in the goalie in the playoffs.
I don't think we know enough about hockey in our country for me to qualify that in any way, shape,
Isn't that
or form.
interesting? Because in Sweden and Finland and stuff,
it.
It's by far the most important sport. Why did it never catch on with you guys?
Not cold enough. Can't go out and play it on the lakes of Milton Keynes on a Sunday afternoon. It's not possible.
Got it. So anyway, you have to have a 2-score lead, because if it's a 1-score game, you have a first ballot Hall of Fame head coach, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, and they're going to find a way to win. I mean, they're going to find a way to get it done late. So Eagles need to run the crap out of the ball and find a way to have a 2-score lead late in the game.
That's the very conversation we had with Jeffrey Lurie last night. Our guy, Brian, asked him about...
You guys talked to Jeffrey Lurie last night?
Just got a couple of questions in. He was
That's awesome.
Super busy. But our guy asked him about, how do you prepare your guys for this perception that the refs will fancy the Chiefs? And he just said, you just have to beat them handily enough that can never be an issue. And I'm I think that's true of anything. In Mahomes' 132 starts, he's only lost by more than a touchdown 5 times. 5 times in his whole career has somebody beaten him by more than a touchdown. I think you have to be 2 scores up with less than 2 minutes remaining. Otherwise, I fancy him to come back. I really do.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's, it's like Jaden Daniels has this a little bit. There are guys that are awesome players, and we'll always remember Lamar Jackson as an awesome player. But the reality is, he doesn't play his best, his awesomest, when it matters the most. But that is the case with Mahomes. All the guys we remember that people still talk about, Montana in the 80s, Brady, Mahomes, it's the guy. These are the games we remember. People don't really remember regular season games.
No.
When's the last time someone talked about a regular season game from a prior year? I mean, it just doesn't happen.
The only one I can remember getting recalled regularly is the Rams-Chiefs Monday Night Football game, the one that got moved back from Mexico to LA, that was 54-51, and that's,
yeah, but still.
I heard that brought up twice this year, and thought that's weird that somebody's talking about regular season game twice.
Yeah.
So